Let's cover all of today's important stock market news and help you get prepared for the trading day ahead. Much of tech is green in pre-market following strong earnings yesterday for both Meta and Microsoft. Both companies raised their CapEx guidance, which is why we're also seeing NVIDIA trade nicely higher in pre-market, up about 4% at the time of recording. Apple is down in pre-market at the time of recording following news that a U.S. federal judge ruled Apple was violating an antitrust ruling related to App Store restrictions. Today is also a big day for both Apple and Amazon because they are reporting earnings after the bell, and they are both very exposed to China. So it will be interesting to hear how they're navigating the current trade situation. Be on the lookout for a potential announcement of a trade deal. It seems that India may be the first country to strike a deal with U.S., as Peter Navarro revealed yesterday on CNBC that India is the country that Secretary Lutnick spoke about recently when he said the deal is done and they're just waiting on that country's government to approve the deal. An official announcement of a trade deal with India would be a positive for markets. Chinese officials are finally confirming that there have been communications between China and the U.S. regarding trade. The two countries have been going back and forth as to whether communication was happening or not, but now both countries have confirmed they are talking, and that is a positive for markets. Treasury Secretary Bessent said this morning that before negotiations happen with China, there needs to be a de-escalation on tariffs. If we get news about a reduction of tariff rates between the U.S. and China, that would be a massive positive catalyst for markets. Also, the U.S. and Ukraine have finally signed the minerals deal between the two countries. This is a positive sign that peace negotiations may be moving in a positive direction, and hopefully we will get good news in the days ahead of a de-escalation of the conflict in Eastern Europe. As for economic releases this morning, we have initial jobless claims at 8:30, and then ISM manufacturing PMI and construction spending both at 10 a.m. Eastern. With manufacturing PMI, we need to remember that many companies are still in the process of onshoring manufacturing to the U.S. And so today's manufacturing report will likely not tell the full story. The main economic report we need to watch during the remainder of this week will be non-farm payrolls on Friday morning. That report will have an important impact on markets tomorrow. We came very close to retesting that key resistance trend line on the S&P 500 yesterday, and I think we're likely to have a green day throughout much of the market after Meta and Microsoft's strong earnings yesterday, as long as we don't get any negative news during the day. Let's see if the S&P can break above the 50 MA around 5,600. Let's quickly go over some company-specific news. Tesla dipped lower in overnight trading in response to an article from the Wall Street Journal claiming that Tesla was looking for a new CEO. Elon then posted on X saying the article was deliberately false. Tesla stock is higher in pre-market off the lows of that overnight dip. Also, this morning, GM issued guidance for the year. You may remember they reported earnings on Tuesday, but rescheduled their conference call to today because news broke on Tuesday morning about change to auto tariff policy, and GM had to factor those changes into their guidance. GM's guidance this morning came in less than what the company originally announced, but the stock is up in pre-market at the time of recording. Multiple companies reported earnings this morning, so let's quickly cover some of them. McDonald's missed slightly on revenue expectations, and EPS came in basically in line with estimates. U.S. comp sales fell 3.6%, which is likely why we're seeing McDonald's trade lower in pre-market at the time of recording. CVS Health is up nicely in pre-market at the time of recording after beating estimates on both revenue and EPS. CVS also raised its earnings outlook and announced a partnership with Novo Nordisk to increase access to Wegovy. Eli Lilly beat estimates on both revenue and adjusted EPS. However, the stock is down heavily in pre-market after the company lowered its GAAP EPS guidance for the fiscal year, and this pre-market move could also be partially in response to that deal that was announced between CVS and Novo Nordisk, because Novo Nordisk's Wegovy competes with Eli Lilly's offerings. We have some very important earnings reports after the bell today. Notable earnings in after hours include Amazon, Apple, Riot Platforms, Airbnb, and Reddit. Amazon and Apple's earnings will have important implications for megacap tech, AI stocks, and other companies that are heavily exposed to China. NVIDIA investors will be paying close attention to Amazon's CapEx guidance. I think Amazon is likely to either maintain or raise CapEx guidance, given that their AWS VP of Global Data Centers recently said there have been no fundamental changes to Amazon's expansion plans. If Amazon maintains or increases CapEx, that will have a positive effect on NVIDIA and many other stocks that are involved in AI data centers. And that's it for this morning's stock market update. Let's see if we get any news about a reduction of U.S.-China tariffs, or if we get an announcement of a deal with India. Both events would be positive catalysts for the market. Let me know what you think about this daily update series and what you want me to cover in future videos. And with that, I hope you all have a great day. Please leave a like on this video so more people will see it. And while you're down there, please consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.